Alright, so today we're going to install the rack mount kit for the Virus TI desktop. This is the TI2. I think this will work on any of the TI desktops, so if you've got a regular TI, I'm assuming this will work. I don't know why it wouldn't, but we've got some instructions. I'll flash those up on the screen here. It's been interesting. It's not really clear. I don't think that after you remove the bottom plate here that you actually reattach it. I think that you just attach the actual rack mount kit, and that's your new back plate. If you're intimidated by something like this, don't do it. You know, or if you get into it and you feel like you've reached a point where you are not comfortable, it's probably better to contact somebody, a professional that can actually swap this out. But according to the instructions, it says this shouldn't be any harder than, you know, swapping out some RAM in your computer. So what you're going to need are obviously a TI desktop, Phillips screwdriver, and the rack mount kit itself, which we have here. So this is for you, step number one. And you should be grounding yourself so that you don't cause any static. That is something I'm not going to do. All right, so this comes off here. Ooh, it just comes off pretty nice and easy there. All right, so next step is to detach the screws here with this board. So I'm going to do that now. Also, in case you're wondering, looks like the battery is right there if you ever need to replace one in your excess virus. They're getting a little long in the tooth these days. I think these have been out for about 10 years, 9 or 10 years, maybe longer than that. Everyone's been asking when there will be a TI3, but you know what? There may not ever be a TI3. Access had done such a good job with this synthesizer, in my opinion, especially with the total integration aspect of it, that they, I think, continue to update. That they kind of don't need to release another one. There's lots of horsepower in here, and currently with the trends going towards more looks like you kind of got to hold on to the connector board here, because otherwise you're not going to get enough oomph to get that out of there. Alright, there we go. So that just flips up like that. So I think that what was happening is this ribbon is pretty tight in here and was pushing right up against this here. So that should be good. So I think we just flip it up like this and attach our panel. So let's see how that works. Now on the rack mount kit, there's a couple of screws with this protective sheet in here. So we're gonna have to take these screws off. All right, so let's orientate this correctly. So yeah, it looks like this is just gonna sit right on here, and we just need to line our connectors up. So this back plate's still gonna stay on here. Oh, you know what? I know what this is for. So they don't mention this, but basically this we're gonna install here along the edge to cover up the I/O ports on here. So let's attach that first before we get our plate in here. So I'm gonna take the same screws I pulled out of the other one here. We're gonna line this up best we can. There is not a hole for the fourth connection point here, which is fine. I Just wanted to make sure. Alright, good. So now we got our I/O port covered, so we won't get any dust and shit in from it that way. So now, let's try this again. I'm going to do the ends first here to make sure everything stays aligned. Again, it's only three ports here. Those are screwing in just fine. Alright, cool. That should be it. Just a note here, I think that they mentioned to disconnect this ribbon, and that's probably why I take this whole thing out and attach it to here. Problem is, this is glued in, hot glued in. I don't want to disconnect that and re-glue it. So, but they give you plenty of cabling, so it should be okay, I would reckon. Alright, so then we're just going to set this sucker right on top here. And let's attach our 6 screws on the bottom. Then we'll be done. We'll test it out. Alright, welcome back. White balance corrected. So there we go. So that looks pretty good. You know, the only thing is that some of the holes look like maybe they don't quite line up perfectly, but who cares? It's on the back. The main thing is that I can get the USB connection in there, and I don't mean to flip you the bird there. Your MIDI DIN ports are going to be accessible, but if these holes actually look the worst. But it's fine. I don't think I'm going to use SPDIF. Anyways, we're going to use USB, and we're going to use all 6, all 3 outputs. Output 1, 2, and 3. This is an input here. SPDIF. Headphones DC in, so that all looks fine. So let's mount it up in the rack. Alright, so I've got it all installed, so let's just do a quick pan down. Bam! Virus fully installed in the rack. And man, it looks good.